A pair of evil eyes stared from a partially covered poster. I didn't imagine Henri as a musician. The CCTV system was ancient. It took individual shots and recorded them to tape. It looked like I needed to enter a passcode to view the recording. I didn't like the idea of a pocket. The lighter was corroded and there was nothing else in the drawer. The folder looked interesting. This was very definitely tampering with evidence. It was a completion of work notice from a company called Vera Security. They weren't the guys we'd recommended. Henri had gone behind our backs to choose a different security outfit. I'd never heard of Vera Security, but there was an address and phone number on the form. I had no reason to search the desk again. The statue was jaunty. Up close and personal, I could see that the fig leaf was hinged. Thankfully, there was no one around to see me do this. Very interesting. I wasn't going to open the safe without the key. I was fairly sure that even Henri wouldn't be silly enough to keep it hidden in the office. The street was quiet. Henri's notice board was covered with all kinds of junk. The calendar looked like a child's school project. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Poor guy hadn't quite made it to his big day. The poster advertised the 1975 Stockholm Music Festival, headlined by a group called the Hairy Lobsters. Bingo. I rewound the tape to before the robbery. This was the first interesting frame. It was Henri studying La Malediccio. He couldn't have had any idea what was about to happen. The image was a little fuzzy, but in the center of the painting was what looked like a snake eating its own tail. I thought about what the priest said. There was definitely something unsettling about the picture. Was Henri studying that picture, or did he look worried? There was definitely more to this robbery than I first thought. Nico and I were taking a look at La Malediccio just before the robbery. Funny, the painting didn't strike me as remarkable at the time, just odd. It seemed that whenever Nico stepped back into my life, so did trouble. A good view of La Malediccio. I could kind of see why Father Simeon thought it was evil. There was a certain presence about it. The killer caught in the act. There was nothing really distinctive about him. The CCTV had caught the killer in the act of lifting La Malediccio from the wall. He knew exactly which painting to take. The moment it all went horribly wrong. Why hadn't Henri backed down when the thief pulled the gun? If that was me, I'd have done whatever the guy wanted. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. There was some writing on the front of his helmet, but I couldn't quite make it out. The killer making his getaway. A logo on the front of his helmet read Waterloo Motors. That could be useful. The alarm should have sounded when the killer took the painting, but it had been sabotaged. I wondered who could have done that. Maybe Lane, or even Henri himself. Or perhaps even Vera Security, who'd installed the system. The painting was gone. There I was, taking a look at the alarm box. Hopefully I didn't look too suspicious. That was me fiddling with the alarm. I hadn't thought about that when I was taking a look at the camera. Not my best angle. That was the last shot. I'd probably learned everything I could from the CCTV. In the trash can, I found a crumpled letter from Henri's credit card company, demanding immediate payment. It listed extravagant purchases from a variety of ladies' fashion stores. The address indicated that Henri lived in the chic and expensive 16th arrondissement of Paris. I decided to put the letter back. Henri's financial problems weren't my business. But now I knew where he lived.
Monsieur, sir, you have snuck in here, and now you are tampering with my evidence.
I wasn't tampering with anything. I was just looking for clues.
That is my job, Monsieur
Stobart. George Stobart. Paris Mutual. We insured the exhibition.
Oh, really? So, you have plenty to gain from the robbery.
Well, no. We have plenty to lose from the robbery.
Don't patronize me, monsieur. Only a fool wouldn't know how insurance works.
Yeah. No flies on you, Inspector.
Exactly. I have to get up very early in the morning, which means I can be sure to catch the worm.
So I see.
May I remind you, monsieur, that a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery.
Of course, but I do need to ask you a few questions.
D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used against you, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Here, smell this.
If you think you can bribe me with expensive parfum de toilette, monsieur, you are mistaken.
Look at these nail clippers.
Perfect for disabling the alarm. You are sticking your American nose into my little French noose, Monsieur Stobart.
Do you know anything about a company called Vera Security?
No, I have never heard of them. Now, I must get on with my investigation.
It's very likely that the security camera holds a clue to the killer's identity.
Monsieur, I am a professional, and you are an amateur. So, leave the investigating to me, pal? Monsieur, you are American, no?
Yeah, California born and bred.
Of course. I think perhaps you are wanting to be like that Starsky and Butch, monsieur. No? Rolling around on top of fast cars with beautiful ladies, firing your gun.
Interesting idea, Inspector, but not really my style.
Indeed. Well, let me tell you something, monsieur. You are my prime suspect. You may go now, but I will need to speak with you again.
I had some valuable leads. But before following up on them, I had important business to attend to. Hey, Nico, you want to grab a quick cup of coffee?
Sure.
I am pleased to announce that I have finished my preliminary investigation. This is now an official crime scene, and you must all go. I shall be questioning all of you again in the coming days. Nobody is to leave the country, particularly you, Monsieur Stobart. Monsieur Lane will stay behind to help secure the premises. Mo?
Yes, Inspector.
Let them out.
Right away, sir.
Two coffees, please.
Nice work in there, Nico. Whatever you did, it worked.
I just made a tiny distraction, and Nave bought it.
I think Nave would buy anything if it had blood on it. You know, this whole setup, the theft, the murder, it just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Well, the priest thinks La Malediccio is evil.
Sure, she's just crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's something strange going on. Smell this.
Oh, zut alors. I had an uncle who used to wear that. Maman told me to watch out for him.
Do you want to borrow these clippers?
Word of advice, George. Never say that on a first date.
Like I said, I think it was an inside job.
Go on.
Someone disabled the alarm, but on just one painting.
Let me guess. La Malediccio.
Exactly. And I aim to find out who did it. The CCTV picked up an image of the thief. His helmet had the words Waterloo Motors written across it.
Interesting. I think I got a couple of good shots of him too, but I need to take a better look at them at home.
Great. Let me know what you find. I found the address of the security company Henri employed. It was not the one that I recommended.
Good luck with your investigations. Well, I guess I should go. This story won't write itself. And Josh?
Yeah?
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Nico. I watched her walk away. The sound of traffic, the sun shining, a crime to solve, and Nico back in my life. As I approached Henri's apartment, I started to doubt whether coming here so soon after his death was such a great idea. At the end of the road, I could see the magnificent Bois de Boulogne. Paris sure had a lot of similar-looking cafes. Tony's Brasserie. Looked expensive. Parisian spring fashion. Reminds me why I love this city. I recognized the name Sasha from the charges listed in Henri's credit card letter. Paris sure had a lot of similar...
Yes. Who is it?
Excuse me, madame. This is George Stobart. Could I talk to you?
George, what?
George Stobart, madame. I'm from the insurance company.
For God's sake, did they have all this? I don't want to buy insurance.
No, I'm not selling, madame. It's about the gallery theft.
Oh, I see. You people move fast, don't you? This isn't a good time. I am so distraught.
Madame, Right. Now, that hadn't achieved much. Unsurprisingly, the front door was locked. I decided not to call her again quite so soon. Parisian spring fat. My phone had no service. I couldn't make calls. The address led me to a dead-end alley at the end of a deadbeat mall. No wonder I'd never heard of Vera Security. The place looked like it had been out of business for a while.
Please don't touch the sign. You'll just make it worse.
The stall was a myriad of retro kitsch. Bottle stoppers, keychains, musical cards. Hi, I wonder if you can help me. I'm looking for Vera Security.
Yes, of course. It's the shop behind you.
Thank you. The name's George, by the way.
Call me Bassam. And do please forgive me, but I'm in no mood to talk. I have a resounding headache.
Bad migraine, eh?
The worst. The buzzing and flashing from the old sign is killing me. I thought the neon sign had potential until it broke.
Is it your sign?
No, the previous owners. Used to be a restaurant. But this is horrible. Adversely affecting my footfall and giving me a splitting headache.
You want me to try fixing that sign for you?
Do you know what you're doing?
I'm very good at fixing things.
Then please do. I'm no good at electricals. Marketing analysis and predicting trends is more my thing.
Bassam had already told me where Vera Security was. Smell this!
Whew. At least it's the real thing.
Do you have any use for nail clippers?
No.
I took a good look at the sign. The wiring was exposed and the cover broken. No wonder it was flashing. I pulled the wire off. Well, that was one way to stop the letters flashing. Now only half the sign was illuminated. The buzzing and flashing has stopped.
And I am very grateful. But the sign still looks pretty terrible, doesn't it? When you're building a brand from the ground up, name is everything. I need a name that makes my customers long for adventure and treasures from faraway places.
I could take a look at your sign, come up with something.
You are like a genie from a magic lamp.
Tell me about your business idea.
This stall is going to put me through college while giving me field experience. But the nonsense sign is working against me. It should spell a name for my shop. I need something original, yet familiar, bright and in your face, yet subtle and symbolic.
I decided to keep the wire. If Bassam knew how flimsy the sign was, he wouldn't be happy. Seemed the letters could be moved around. Shame it didn't have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to think of something else. I needed to... That was never going to happen. At least the sign's not buzzing anymore.
I know, and I do appreciate it, but now it just spells nonsense. And as it says in all the books, branding is key. If only it spelled out a whole new world. That would send my business soaring. Help!
What's wrong?
There's a monster
What? Where?
on the floor. Get rid of it.
Oh, the cockroach.
Yes, the cockroach. Help!
Come here, little fella. I was never going to catch it with my bare hands. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't have worked. That was all.
Leave that radio alone and sort this damn cockroach.
Romanov's, a Russian brand cigarette. The pack was empty. As a child, I'd always been told not to play with matches, but I never could resist. A crumpled cigarette pack. The ashtray was full of cigarette butts. The filters were gold-colored, very exotic. There was a huge cockroach in the way. I tipped out the matches. I couldn't catch it just by swiping at it. I'd need to entice it closer. I was never going to catch it with my bare hands. I couldn't catch it just by swiping at it. I'd need to entice it closer. I couldn't catch... I needed a better idea. I only had a few matches. Using one now probably wasn't a good idea. Never in a... That would have violated the Chemical Weapons Convention. That was all. That's never. I only had a few. There were crumbs on the floor. No wonder the cockroach was sticking around. I set down my matchbox. Cockroaches like hiding in dark places. Not a bad idea when you think about it. Cockroach wasn't going for it. I needed some bait. The Vera phone. All expenses had been spared. Hello, I'm...
Cockroach!
I was... That wouldn't have... That would have violated... I was... Seemed the letters could be moved around. Shame it didn't have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to think of something else. That was almost a great idea. Almost. At least the sign's not buzzing.
As I said, I know and I do appreciate it, but... And as it says in all the books, branding is key. If only it spelled out a whole new world. That would send my business soaring.
Could you help me with a vermin problem, please?
I'm sorry, until I kickstart this business, I don't really have time for ancillary projects. I need a brand. A clear message that grabs my key demographic by the lapels and hurls them into my economic bailiwick.
Excuse me?
You know, a name that sounds magical and exotic, that appeals to a yearning they only feel subconsciously.
Do you know anything about Vera Security over there?
Not really. I haven't been here long, but neither have they by the looks of it.
Why do you say that?
Rush setup, new sign, low investment, and no customers except for you.
I've got some matches.
Always good to have.
Seemed the letters could be moved around. Shame it didn't have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to think of something else. At least the sign's not...
As I know. And as it... If only... That would...
Seemed the letters could be moved around. Shame it didn't have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to think of something else. At least the sign...
As I know, and as if only that would.
Seemed the letters could... Shame it didn't... I'd have to think... I wasn't going to leave without investigating Vera's role in the robbery. The aircon went nicely with the Art Deco detailing. I didn't want to step on the cockroach. The poor lady wouldn't have been able to cope with a call. A crumpled... The box needed some bait. At least the sign's not...
As I said, I know and I do appreciate it, but now it just spells nonsense. And as it says in all the books, branding is key. If only it spelled out a whole new world. That would send my business soaring.
Seemed the letters could be moved around. Shame it didn't have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to think of something else. At least the sign's not...
As I know. And as... That...
Seemed the letters could be moved around. Shame it didn't have the right letters to spell Bassam. I'd have to... Aha. That seemed like a good name. Hey, Bassam, how about this? I know it's not your name, but...
Aladdin. Very cool. That's a terrific name for my store. Hits every one of my USPs.
Glad you like it.
You're a genius, George. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Aha, Mr. Stobart. What can I do for you?
I really like your new sign.
It's magnificent. I owe you one.
What do you think?
I'm over the moon, George. Thanks to you, I can now sell my retro cavalcade of musical cards, brushes, souvenirs. And you know what they say, happy sellers make happy shoppers.
So what are you selling?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. I sell all those things you can't get anywhere else in Paris.
Like...
English biscuits, Turkish delight, French cassettes, Brazilian Betamax videos.
Do you happen to know a good way to catch a cockroach?
To be honest, George, I'm better at questions on balancing budgets within a liberal economic framework. But as a layman, perhaps I could suggest you trap it? And please, whatever you do, don't squish it.
Why's that?
The entire family will catch the scent and arrive for the funeral.
Ooh, we don't want that.
You need to find a container of some sort. Then I think add this.
Rich tea. What's that, a cookie?
The perfect cockroach biscuit. Dry, dull, unsatisfying, and yet curiously Moorish.
I'll give it a try.
Glad to help.
Thank you for the cookie.
You're very welcome.
I added some bait to the matchbox. Even I was finding it hard to resist that little trap. Gotcha!
You are a gentleman and no mistake. I hate cockroaches.
Always ready to help a damsel in distress.
I bet you are. Can I help you?
Yes, please. Do you know if there's anyone in the office I can talk business with?
Yes, me, chérie. I'm Annette, the manager.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... The gloves. I just thought...
Ah, easy mistake to make. If you haven't been reconstructed, that is.
Oh, but I have been reconstructed. A number of times. From the ground up.
Hands off, mister.
Can I just have a look?
Certainly not. That book is very private.
Even the plant looked depressed.
Look, do you mind not touching the office?
Annette's peripheral vision was, quite simply, astounding.
What can I do for you?
There's been a theft at Le Lézard Bleu. A painting's been stolen.
Shame. Still, I'm sure you'll get over it.
I believe your company set up the security.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
Didn't.
Did.
I've got all day.
But I didn't. Annette, could I just have a quick look in your back office?
What do you take me for?
What? No. I mean, can I look in there?
Oh, I see. No, you can't. It's private.
It says here that Vera was hired to do the security at the gallery. Didn't do a very good job, did you?
Where did you get that?
At the gallery?
That job was signed off. You can't say we were to blame.
I was getting a bad feeling. The place looked like a front, and the only person there wasn't helping. Maybe the office itself could give me more information.
Are you done? Only I want to listen to this next race.
I caught the cockroach. Look, isn't he a sweetie?
Ah! Keep it away from me!
I've got a cookie.
Those dry things are disgusting.
Thanks.
Do you mind? I'm listening to the race.
Annette was watching me like a hawk.
Hello, Vera Security. We make you secure.
A quick look revealed that the drawer was empty. I wanted to see what secrets the book might contain. There was a photo. Of course, I grabbed it.
Yes.
Are you betting on a horse?
No, I just like hearing the sound of hooves.
Oh, well, that's unusual.
Don't be an idiot. I got 50 euros on Lucky Break.
Ah, well, I hope you win.
So do I, chérie. So do I.
Recognize this?
Hey, that's my photo.
That's you with Lane, I believe.
So what if it is?
What is he to you?
Oh, my Hector, that's what he is. My little Hector.
Yeah, I thought you said you had nothing to do with the gallery.
Look, here's how it is. I've only been here a few weeks. I had nothing to do with that gallery job. I just delivered the paperwork.
So, who's the manager before you?
I don't know. She just one day didn't come in for work. I shouldn't be talking to you. The boss told me to keep my mouth shut.
The boss. Have you got his number or address?
No, I've forgotten it. I mean, I never knew it.
Annette, a serious crime has been committed. You're in a lot of trouble.
I had nothing to do with it. Look, I need this job. I need the money. Anyway, it's only a silly old painting. No one got hurt.
The gallery owner was shot.
Badly?
Yeah, he's pretty dead.
Oh.
This is a murder investigation. Now, who's your boss?
I don't know. Honest, he faxes me if he wants anything.
He. Who's he?
I've never seen him, never met him. Don't make trouble for poor Annette.
Thanks. I was pretty sure Annette had told me all she was going to. She sounded scared. Time to put the thumbscrews on Lane, and I knew just how. I decided there was no point distracting Annette any further. Time to confront Lane. The gallery was sealed off. The place looked empty. Lane wasn't exactly easy to miss, and it looked like he wasn't around. Hi.
Monsieur?
I'm looking for Mr. Lane. Has he been here?
Ah, yes, monsieur. He came by earlier. Told me he was off to console Henri's widow. I hope she's out.
The menu offered black coffee and a short list of soft drinks. Hi.
Monsieur?
Do you recognize the woman in this photo?
She was here the other night with Lane. They sneaked away to the gallery together, without paying their bill.
My suspicions of Lane were mounting, but I didn't really think he had it in him. Look what I've got.
Monsieur, please. If the health inspector sees that, I'd be closed down.
Are you sure Lane's gone to visit Henri's widow?
Yes, that's what he told me.
The door was locked and sealed off with police tape. I needed to find Lane, and I was sure he wasn't in there. So Lane was consoling the widow. What a big heart that guy had. Did he have a grand scheme or just loose morals?
Hello?
This is George Stobart. May I come up?
I'm sorry, this is a very inconvenient time. Come back later.
I know that's you, Mr. Lane. I need to talk to you. Mr. Lane, does the name Annette mean anything to you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I need to talk to Madame Dubois.
I'm sure it can wait.
Mm-hmm. If you don't let me in, I'll tell the police about your interesting connection to the security company.
All right then. Come up, but make it brief.
Dear Lord, George, you have a worse timing.
Is this a bad time to accuse you of lying?
What do you want?
I've just come from Vera Security.
So?
What do you know about the owner of Vera Security?
I've never had the pleasure.
Tell me about Annette.
Who?
From Vera Security.
I don't know any Annette.
I'm surprised you let your conquests keep souvenirs.
Oh. Where did you get that?
Annette lent it to me.
Quit waving it around, for God's sake.
Now here's someone you'll get along with, Lane. Trevor, meet Lane. Lane, Trevor.
Why on earth do you have a cockroach in a matchbox?
So he can see the world and help me in times of need.
You have a vivid imagination, Stillbart. One day perhaps your other mental faculties will catch on.
Can you tell me anything about the owner of Vera?
Annette told me he's some angry-looking Russian chap.
Come on, Lane. Tell me about Annette.
All right, all right. I had a fling with her, okay? Now keep your voice down, please.
And you two fixed the security for the robbery?
No, nothing like that. Anyway, the fling was a mistake. She turned out to be rather needy.
I believe you. You're not a criminal, just a lecherous old man.
Less of the old, if you don't mind. As it happens, I make a lot of women happy.
Especially when you leave them. Okay, Lane, take off.
You can't tell me what to do.
You want me to show Bijou this picture?
All right, I'm going. You haven't heard the last of me, Stobart.
Promise?
And give me that photo.
If Lane was telling the truth, that meant that Annette was lying. She said she'd never met the owner and was very keen to get rid of me. I wondered if she was hiding something interesting in that back office.
Are you going to introduce yourself properly?
Pleased to make your acquaintance, madame. My name's George Stobart.
Call me Bijou.
The view through to the Bois de Boulogne was stunning. America is my country, and Paris is my hometown. You have a beautiful home, Bijou.
Oh, thank you. I do like beautiful things.
The subject stared casually out at the world. The subject looked vulnerable as she clasped her knees.
Please don't touch my things.
A subtle birthmark was the only blemish on the model's flawless skin. The stereo was playing the same tune over and over again. A small stuffed dog sat on the table. Poor creature. Was that a tear in its glassy eye? The artist was entering his cubist phase. Two lovers entwined. Reminded me of that party game with the map. I suddenly realized that all the nudes were bijoux, but painted by several different artists. Henri was now dressed in a cheap suit. On balance, I prefer the waistcoat.
Hello, young man. Such a delight to have a new visitor. What can I do for you?
I'm from the insurance company. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Henri, my poor sauvage. He died in his prime.
Could I just ask you a few questions?
Well, why not? A little company might just pep me up, as you Americans might say.
Does this smell good to you?
It's heavenly, isn't it? Henri loved it. That's lovely, dear.
Do you know this company, Vera Security?
No, I don't. I've never heard of them. No, thank you.
Rich tea?
Why is it broken?
I was feeding it to a cockroach.
I think perhaps I'll pass.
Hey, this might cheer you up. Say hello to Trevor.
A cockroach?
I prefer the word pal.
And I prefer the word pest. Please never show it to me again. Why do you show that to me?
Henri was very brave at the gallery. He tried to stop the thief and paid the ultimate price.
Henri was my lion and my little pussycat.
Henri looks very peaceful.
Doesn't he? I wish I could keep him here forever.
I'm sure his killer will be found.
It's a cruel world that takes my Henri away from me.
What's the story behind the stuffed dog?
Oh, Fifi. I was heartbroken when she went. I had her preserved so that we could be together forever.
That's very touching.
Isn't it?
Can you tell me about the gallery? Was the business doing well?
The gallery was Henri's baby. He never spoke to me about it.
So you weren't involved?
Not at all. Business is not my thing.
Your record player seems to be stuck on the same song.
Yes, this song gives me great comfort. It reminds me of Henri.
Is that a painting of you?
Yes, darling. Though obviously he got my hips completely wrong.
Who painted it?
Oh, some acquaintance of Henri's. I don't recall his name.
Quite unusual these days to bring the coffin home.
Henri loved a good wake. Said they were better than any party.
Huh. Bijou, I think someone involved with the gallery helped the thief. It wasn't Hector Lane. He's not devious enough.
But who else?
I don't know. But I will get to the bottom of it, I promise you. Thank you for your help, Bijou.
My pleasure, young man. Do come back any time.
Bijou appeared to know nothing. I still couldn't discount Lane. Annette, on the other hand, had lied about Vera Security's owner.
Sherry, please don't touch my table. I keep everything in perfect order.
Night was falling. Annette would have left for the evening. It was time to pay a visit to Vera's security. The empty mall was lit by bright moonlight, the perfect ambiance for a little detective work. I wanted a good look at that back office. I just had to find a way in. Rearranging the sign had been a stroke of genius, even if I do say so myself. All Bassam's stuff was safely locked away. There was no way I could force the shutter open with my bare hands. I needed to find another way. The girder was too high for me to reach. There was an electrical box up there, but I couldn't reach it from the ground.